We are back at it again here with another video with Invest for Tomorrow. To all the first time viewers and investors, welcome to the channel. To all the subscribers, welcome back. I'll ask for return this video, smash that like button, telling me know you watch this video, helps out the YouTube channel and lets me know you appreciate the time and effort I put into making these videos. So here we are with ATR, and it actually has jumped up. We see the transition here we were looking for. Things are pulling back a little bit, and I'm going to break down everything going on in the charts on the 30-minute, on the 1 day, and why this is still in the possible top stocks to squeeze based off of short interest and also the borrow fee rate and the short squeeze score. But before we jump into it, I want to share with you guys the home runs of the day. Every single stock I mentioned this morning turned out to be a home run, and we're going to jump right into it here with ATR. The home runs of the day were spectacular. Every single stock I mentioned this morning turned out to be a home run. And even though the S&P 500 index continues to go lower, struggling to get back to all-time highs and is in the red, and portfolios are sitting sideways or in the red as well, I will continue to look for opportunities daily. And this is something you can become part of as well. Check out the link down below in the description to the Discord. And by joining, you'll become part of a growing community of investors, all looking to learn and grow together. So I mentioned IPHA, CRVS, and HLBZ. So when we go ahead and look at these charts, you're going to see how they performed. And this is 42 vision as well. You can see when the rips happen and the weakness happen. But I mentioned this one in the pre-market, and it took off to a highest point of 40% plus. And there was multiple opportunities of 10 to 20% moves in between it from the moment I mentioned it all the way to the top. Then we have here our highest performer of the day. It was HLBZ, and this is our third 100% plus opportunity caught this week alone. We mentioned it in the pre-market, took off for 50% plus, sat sideways, and took off to a 120% plus move. And then we have here IPHA, and you can see a little bit better here how 42 vision looks when the momentum is happening and when the shift into weakness happens, right? That's what it's all about, and you can gain access to that as well by checking out the 42 vision tier level. But IPHA caught this one in the pre-market sitting sideways and took off to a highest point of 70% plus, and this happened in a matter of 15 minutes. And this is all something you can gain access to now. Check out the link down below in the description, and we look forward to having you join us. Let's jump into these charts. So here we are with ATR, and the shift we were looking for actually happened, right? It went from red to green, and now we see it here from dark green to green. So this was a phenomenal move on the day, and this is what I was talking about. We wanted to watch it very carefully if it broke through this support level 935, 936, and how it did between 935, 936 all the way down here to the 7s and the 862 range. It held pretty well, and now we see it shifting, and it's holding itself up. And if this starts to push up, which it's trying to, you could see this one's red and green, and this is just green. If it pushes up just a little bit, this could be on its way up, back up to newer highs, and it could be in the form of a possible squeeze forming, right? Because this is just the beginning of a squeeze even happening. We're going to look at the data and how this is still the #1 possible squeeze, and we're going to look at how many short shares are available. That is something to be aware of, and we're going to see together some data that is super important going on from yesterday to today. And if it went even lower, it's going to justify what is going on in the charts right now. So we've seen the shift, we're seeing it here. So let's go ahead and look at this information together. So the first thing is short shares availability 0 as of right now, last updated. So that is good, that is up to date. Now here we have the short volume from yesterday. So the stock was actually going a little bit lower because of bulls actually selling out or getting exhausted, or it was just a little bit of pressure put on by the shorts going up to 0 shorts available, because there were some shorts available shares, but now there's 0. So probably that was that last pressure that they put on. And look at what happened afterwards, right? So if this went down yesterday, I can imagine it stayed pretty much at those low levels after today, which is something that is interesting because the stock is going up, and it will justify how there's no shares available, and also short shares that were available in the day of volume were less. Okay, that is something that can definitely give us some insight on what's going on. So big stuff there, right? It started going lower because there was short shares availability 0, and there was less to short yesterday. So today the bulls had leverage and they had to push it up. And you could see how the bulls tried to fight up to 10 and came back down to 9. It consolidated before it took off. So some covering probably happened here. If not, this is the bulls putting on pressure. And really what needs to grow here and pick up is right here in the after hours, this candlestick, and continue with the momentum going into Monday. It's going to be a very interesting week for ATER coming up next week, but that's the information for there. Now, the reason why it's still the top stock to possibly squeeze is because it's number one. The short squeeze score is 97.41. Borrow fee rate has gone down a little bit, and days to cover continues to be the same. So as you can see, it's 0.06. I've stated in the previous videos that the jumps will be smaller. So there was a jump today, and it was only a $2 jump, almost $3 jump, instead of almost 100% run of $5 or $7. So that's what I want you guys to be aware of, that this short squeeze is not going to be as big as it was before unless bulls and retail traders and investors come on in and they push it even higher beyond what the shorts can push it, right? Because shorts covering isn't going to do a big difference. But we did see a significant upside room because of that small push to the upside, okay? And there was some shorts probably covering in this. And if there wasn't, because the data still looks the same, 36%, remember that the days to cover, they can get in and get out of their positions pretty fast. But retail and bulls and investors push this one up. And this is a good move of strength. It finally got out of this consolidation, and I did state it was looking pretty good and healthy here. If it went lower towards the 8s, it could have been a concern, but right now the stock is looking like it's preparing to possibly squeeze if it continues this trajectory. So what needs to happen? Well, the bulls need to stay away from 913, okay? That is the lowest point we've seen this week. They need to stay away from that as far as possible and not even retest it. And they need to break through 1197, which is literally, I'll just round that up, $12. And that's that point where then the next point would be up here at 1259. And you could see that 1250, 1260 range would be a significant push to the upside, pulling away from these levels and continuing the momentum upwards in that trajectory to possibly squeeze and force those shorts to cover and stay covered and go from bears to bulls. So let's go ahead and look at this from the 1-day chart, because the 1-day chart will show us something different. This is pushing upwards. We're going to have to watch it carefully, but here we are with the 1-day, and on the 1-day we saw things were going downwards, and if this shifted into red, it was going to go lower. Now, the volume candlesticks here, or bars, are red actually, but things are holding up still, okay? Based off of 42 vision, there's still some strength. If this shifts over to red, then weakness has come. But I want you guys to see something here, and the first thing is, right here, things are kind of leveling off, right? If this can continue leveling off like that, this might actually start going sideways and kind of form a consolidation here within this area, or it could be a reversal and push up to try to hit newer highs and new resistance levels. And the next shift that we're looking for here on the 1-day is for it to turn green, okay? To go from dark green with red borders to green to the upside and continuing to push up through new resistance levels and hitting those resistance levels and turning them into supports, right? And bouncing off of them. And then it could force those shorts that are not wanting to cover to actually have to cover, like I stated earlier in the video, and turn them from bears to bulls. And this is the type of shift we will want to see on the 1-day. So the 1-day is holding up pretty well, and we're going to have to see how this plays out next week, starting Monday and all week long, because next week will be very interesting for ATER. If you believe this is going to go any higher, comment down below those rocket ships, and I look forward to seeing everyone's thoughts on ATER. And did you play this one today after watching yesterday's video, or have you been watching it? As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and let's make